Hi, guys. Welcome back to another episode of the Chronic Danger Podcast. This will be my first interview podcast of the series, so I appreciate you guys tuning in. I'm here with my very best friend, Josh Miller. We've been friends for what now? 15 years?
I'm just a little disappointed you're still using the friend word, man. I feel like at this point we're like something more.
Something more?
Something more.
Oh,
We have a lot of firsts together.
That is true.
Yeah.
We do have a lot of firsts.
A lot that we can't bring up on this podcast.
I know. I'd like to also shout out Josh's girlfriend, female girlfriend, who is our technical staff today, Cindy Pham. Appreciate all of her
We
help.
checked for parts. It is a female.
Yes.
You hear her in the background. So precious.
So, what are we going to talk about today, man?
That's what I was gonna leave the host to decide.
Well-
I was ready for anything, man. I came over here with one thing in mind.
What was that?
Two things in mind.
Okay.
Hanging out with my buddy and being
Check.
on this podcast.
Be on this podcast.
So whatever floats the boat.
Okay. Well, you mentioned something earlier about talking about music.
Ooh,
Yeah. Which,
glad you brought that up.
for those of you that don't know, me and Josh have been in numerous bands since we were the seventh graders. Shout out to Reflect.
Could have went triple platinum. dude.
Triple platinum, dude.
Is there a quad platinum? Because I don't. If there was, we would have won that
If there would have been a quad platinum, we probably would have got that for
for church music that wasn't about church.
exactly. It was a crazy concept. So
That's great, man. We were revolutionary, but without the money to fund it.
right.
That's
unique because, back in the day, if you wanted to get famous as a musician or as a band, there was so much that went into it. You had to be traveling in vans, you had to be getting gigs, radio time, you had to be discovered, but that's different nowadays because of TikTok and YouTube.
yeah, you couldn't just commit a crime and then be famous all of a sudden.
Right.
You had to actually work for it.
You had to work for it. You couldn't
yeah.
throw a TV out of a hotel window and all of a sudden you're
We have
famous.
it so easy nowadays. We could just go out, cause a crime, cause a ruckus, controversy,
Mhm.
boom, we're famous.
Yeah.
And
that's
then
true.
we could start our music industry.
Exactly. Do you think that's kind of how most people get famous these days? Or from what you've seen from an artist that says they're nobody to somebody, what does that process look like nowadays?
There's a good mix out there. I'll say that because a lot of artists, quote unquote, that you see start up, they just come out of like these random controversies. Like they're famous for one thing, yet then they link to their music because people like their music.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I don't know. It's kind of the same concept that I've always thought is like, like the artist has their breakout song, but that breakout song is actually just a plagiarism of a different song.
Mm-hmm.
That's why it's good. That's why it's popular.
Right.
Easiest one to think of off the top of my head, just because famous artist or my favorite artist, Juice WRLD, his number one breakout song, "Lucid Dreams." Right.
Right. Rest in peace, Juice.
It was a Sting song.
Right.
Blew up like crazy. He didn't see it coming. Yet that's what blew him up in the first place. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
Right.
would he have blown up to the height that he did without that? You know what I'm saying? It's like, I wonder if it was, worth it. Because obviously he got, most of the royalties of that song taken away from Sting.
Right.
He's admitted it on multiple occasions and even said, that's going to pay their grandkids and I don't care. It's like,
Right.
whatever. Because he's so famous from that song. But that's got to be worth it, right? Because it's like, now you're big.
So you're saying there's more artists, as you quote unquote, out there than there is songwriters. So they take something that's already been done, they remix it for a more modern audience, and then all of a sudden they're getting all the clout and the fame from it instead of having to come up with their own material.
It makes sense, right?
Now,
It's like, they're just kind of rewashing it in their own taste. Yeah, and they get copyrighted for it, but they get the benefits of that song still.
Right.
Because now you know about them.
so when you're talking about like Lucid Dreams and Sting,
Mm-hmm.
was Sting getting paid for the copyright?
100%. Yeah, I don't think it was 100% of the profits were directed towards Sting.
Right.
But like majority of it was.
Okay, so
Like
it's kind of,
Juice
so you're
made-
saying it's a win-win.
100%. That's what I believe is like, Juice like won off getting, copyrighted on that song still.
Right.
He was still big off of it. Everyone knew his name, yet Sting got the profits of it,
Okay.
because it was sampled.
Yeah, and I guess that
Exactly.
makes sense. I can think of a bunch of examples even recently, like, the famous TikTok "Running Up That Hill" song.
Yeah.
It didn't even make top 100 when it came out in
Mhm.
1980, whatever that was, and then all of a sudden here in 2022, it's #1 on Billboard,
It's crazy.
which is awesome because it wasn't covered by someone. It's just it was used in Stranger Things, and all of a sudden a song that essentially went unnoticed for 30 years, is all of a sudden on top, and they're making money off of it.
More power to him, man.
Yeah.
That's awesome. It's a beautiful thing about how they keep bringing back retro old stuff.
Right.
It's just like reintroducing it as if it's brand new, but people know it's like it was an old fashioned, and now it's being refashioned. I've always thought about that because it's like, what will the fashion look like in 20 years?
Hmm.
Now I'm like, it's going to be just what the fashion was 40 years ago.
Recycled.
Just recycle and repeat.
Yeah, I think yeah, I agree. It's with most trends anyways that they are recycled at some point to be something fresh and new, and people might call it hipster because it's something vintage, but I don't think ideas really change that much because if they're popular once, more than likely they're going to be popular again, right?
Yeah. And that's what's just catching fire is all the old school.
Yeah.
People are like, oh, that's so old school, that's so retro, and that's what just blows up.
I've even seen all those videos of people using VCRs and stuff now,
Mm-hmm.
thinking that it's so cool. It's like, man, that sucked.
I just love that. If I could sell it,
Yeah,
I got all those old PlayStations still.
Yeah.
And stuff.
that's
like,
another thing. Video games, they're coming back too.
yeah, dude, Pokemon cards, man, that stuff is crazy right now.
Yeah,
And I feel like it's still gonna be in 40 years. They're gonna be
Right.
like, oh, this is really old school. It's like it's just gonna get more and more popular. It's crazy.
I mean that's not a bad thing necessarily. It's
No.
just I don't want to say that we've ran out of creative ideas.
That's kind of what the argument could be held
Right.
is about creative ideas. Can it? Yeah. Have we run out? Have we run dry? I feel like creativity it's endless in a sense.
Yeah.
It's like that's why it's just fascinating to see what trends next.
But it's easier to recycle.
Oh yeah.
But I mean,
look at every movie.
right.
Ghostbusters, but with females.
Yeah.
Now we got Ghostbusters 8.
We're on like Rocky #6 now.
For the record, never seen any of them, so I got nothing to say.
Yeah, I haven't either. I can't give a review of that. But that's true. But I mean, it's recycled for a reason, right?
Mhm.
It was popular once, people enjoyed it, so why not capitalize on that now?
Yeah, and for the monetary gain. So there's so much money to be made in that. Yet the fans that were the original fans that have loved the series, and a lot of them feel kind of cheated on it.
Mhm.
It's like they just did this for the money, and
Right.
that's the crappy part about it. And that's just business, baby. That's how Disney and all of them are always going to do it.
Yeah,
They as long as they get your money, because you went and saw it. You already gave them your money. They're gonna keep doing it.
right. Why not
So-
make a Toy Story 15? If people are still watching it, it
Yeah.
makes sense to keep going.
Have you seen the new Buzz Lightyear?
I've seen it's got Chris Evans in it, right?
He's
the
gay.
voice. He is.
No, I'm just kidding. I
Okay,
don't know.
well,
I fell asleep watching it, but I was like, kind of like being like, oh, I bet they're gonna make him like have a homosexual side to him or something like that. But I just barely watched it, and I basically predicted the entire movie. Like most kid movies, you can
Right.
kind of guess what's gonna happen. But no. As far as I was watching, it was pretty good. Just very cinematic. It's
Right.
not like Toy Story.
right.
That's kind of like the weird angle they went out with. Like it could have been just another Toy Story movie. This happens, but it's like cinematic. It's like going into the toys backstory
right.
for whatever reason.
Because isn't it based off like it's the movie that Buzz Lightyear, the toy, was based off of, right?
Yeah, that
That's
sounds
kinda cool.
right.
That's kind of cool. It's like the origin story for the action
Are
figure
they gonna do it
in
on
the
Woody
movie.
now? My boy Woody needs justice, man. He's
That'd be pretty cool.
he's the star of Toy Story.
Right.
I feel like Buzz Lightyear is the sidekick.
'Cause
That's a controversial topic, though.
Woody had a TV show, didn't he, in the
He-
Pixar universe?
He did.
Okay.
Yep. Toy Story 2, that was brought up about how him, then Jesse, minor dude. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a
minor
whole
guy.
lore behind it.
Well, there you go. Disney make a series off the actual Woody, and that's gonna be filling bank accounts for the next 20 years.
Exactly. They're like, I feel like 2 Bugattis this year.
Yeah.
Let's just make a Woody
Right.
backstory.
I mean, whatever you got to do. People have been recycling stuff. Even look at the Beatles when they started out.
crazy. Yeah, Twist and Shout.
Yeah.
Shoot, man, Chuck Berry. Mhm.
Yeah. They were playing other people's music slightly differently enough to get people's attention. They weren't a cover band, but they took something that was already popular and they just brought it to a different market.
Genius.
Yeah.
Genius. That's how business seems to be ran, man. I mean, maybe we should take some notes from that.
Yeah.
Maybe we should make like a podcast,
Right.
kind of like the other dudes make podcasts.
Right.
That get famous off it, but we kind of make it a little bit different with our own spin on it.
So you're saying do a podcast, accept our own ideas in the podcast, and maybe people will watch it.
Nah,
No,
that'd be
that's
stupid,
ridiculous.
baby.
Yeah. Yeah. I haven't even decided if I want to cuss on this.
I don't know either. You can bleep me out if you want, but
I don't know.
it might happen.
Can I cuss on this show?
No, you can do whatever you want. It's your
Yeah,
podcast.
That's my podcast, I guess.
mean,
but
We're in America. I mean,
this is America, but you never know.
yeah.
That's another thing we could get into about cancel culture.
We could move into a communist country and then try to do a podcast. And then we'll just have to totally rewrite the script.
Exactly.
I'll watch her.
But that's interesting, and I'm not going to talk politics on the show per se, but for being a country with free speech, there's a lot of things you can't say. There's a lot of music you can't play.
I'll let the silence be the answer.
Yeah. So you have to be careful with that kind of stuff,
Mm-hmm.
which is okay. I get it. Everyone's entitled to their own opinions. But I think that if you sit there and say, well, I can feel however I want about what you're saying, doesn't that give me the right to say whatever I want to say?
Interesting.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of like that. It's like, don't say something. Obviously, that's just like meant to be hurtful and hateful. Like, there's like the limits, but then
Right.
people are like exaggerating those. So
Right.
It's like, you can't say anything about anything now because you can't say a thing about that thing. Now you have to include everything.
hmm
You know what I'm saying? It's like it's either you have it all or you don't have anything to say.
Right.
That makes sense.
And look at the whole Will Smith thing. I think he got banned from the Academy Awards or something for 10 years.
I ain't going around smacking anyone.
Well, I know. But that's where do you draw the line as far as a comedian? It would suck to be a comedian right now.
Mm-hmm.
I would absolutely hate that just because your sole job is to make fun of everything.
I support comedians with every fiber of my being now because they're
Yeah.
really out there.
Yeah.
They're really doing it. Because how many people, like, imagine being in the crowd and you say one off-color joke and someone might have had a friend or a family member that's personally hurt by that, and they get up and try to tell you and put you in your place, and you're like, you came to my show, man.
Right.
If you don't want to hear anything and just be in your little bubble, stay the hell at home.
Right.
Just don't go out. Just stay home. That's your safe place.
Yeah.
You won't get offended at your house where you have your censored YouTube and your censored TV. You know what I'm saying?
Well, that's what kills me about like hecklers when I watch these stand-up shows and everything. You know, they bought a ticket for the show, right? And they're going to sit there and they're going to talk shit to the person that's performing because they don't like the jokes.
Those are the same dudes that go to concerts and they throw water bottles at them
Yeah.
on stage. Like, oh, I hate you.
Dude, okay.
Lil Wayne just got a water bottle thrown at him.
Why?
Last concert? I don't know. Because he's
Well, I
too
guess.
old to fight someone now, I guess. I don't
Yeah,
know.
apparently. I don't think anyone would have messed with Wheezy back in the day. But
Like 5'5" flat. Like,
yeah. No, I saw a video of, it was at the North Dakota State Fair like last month, and the concert, it was Kid Rock. So granted, we got a fucking stadium full of Kid Rock fans. Yeah, I decided I'm going to cuss on this show. We're going to cuss on this show. You know, we're adults here. I cuss in my personal
I was
life.
really minding my P's and Q's for
I
about
know,
10
we were doing
seconds.
good.
Bro. I tried.
But this is my show, damn it, and we're going to cuss. Sorry. So if you're not over the age of 18, whatever.
No one's sponsoring us yet, right?
I know, I got to ask Cindy, can I say bad words? Do I have to give a warning to say bad words?
If you don't have like a sponsorship that like tells you that,
Yeah.
hey, you can't cuss in this,
No one's paying us.
Okay.
you can do whatever you want. It's your podcast.
Perfect. Thank you.
Exactly.
Fuck it. We're going to cuss on the show.
No
Okay.
one's paying me.
So,
Pay me $20. I won't cuss the whole podcast.
right. So picture this. You're in fucking North Dakota for the state fair, right?
Mhm.
And you got a stadium full of Kid Rock fans in
I can
2022.
smell it.
You can smell it, right? Drinking monsters. Like, no offense to Kid Rock fans,
No.
but if I say
I listen to Kid Rock.
if I say picture a
I
Kid
also
Rock,
live in a trailer.
well, yeah, same. So I mean, you know, we both live in trailer. We can't really talk, but I want you to close your eyes and picture what a Kid Rock fan looks like. Right now, put 10,000 of these guys in the stadium. There's a huge lightning storm. North Dakota, you know, there's going to be storms and stuff. Huge lightning storm. They cancel the concert. They fucking rage, dude. They
You don't
rage.
cancel Kid Rock.
You don't cancel a Kid Rock concert in North Dakota, dude. I'm telling you right now. They were trashing the place. They were chanting, you know, fuck Kid Rock, and they were throwing trash. And
North Dakota?
why not North
There was
Dakota?
enough people in North Dakota to throw a riot.
All of North Dakota.
I think it's a required.
Yeah.
You have to have at least 60 people to,
Right.
to call it a riot.
It was all of North Dakota to see Kid Rock.
That's at least 63 people.
At least
man.
63, dude.
That's including children.
And they were raging. The sheriff's department up there shared on their Ward County. They shared on their Facebook page. Just so you guys know, we are not responsible for canceling the Kid Rock concert.
Stop fighting
You got to think about it. They're fighting the cops, man. And there's,
Yeah.
you know, it's North Dakota. I don't know how many police officers they had, you know, present for the concert.
Like
but, you know,
3.
yeah, probably 3 or 4. And they're trying to overrun this entire fairground.
Calling in reinforcements from South Dakota.
All right, we're gonna need South Dakota up here. Stats.
All right, we sent 2 officers on the way. That leaves
Yeah.
only 1 left in our county.
yeah,
Godspeed.
but that's crazy, man. They raged, and it's, you know, so what? They were gonna get refunded, or Kid Rock would have played the next night.
Yeah, you can hear Sweet Home Alabama from Leonard Skinner in
Right.
Montana.
Yeah, like it was nuts, man. I was just thinking about that because there was the Kid Rock cover band played in Billings last night.
At the place I used to work.
Yeah,
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
I don't know
got
what
to
his
see the
name
whole thing.
was.
I worked that night. It
You
was
did?
hilarious. It was crazy.
Now, why is there a Kid Rock cover band? Because you should be able to go see Kid Rock, you know.
Now you think about it, man. I have no explanation.
Like I get tribute bands, right? Like the bands you can't see. Like we saw a great Led Zeppelin tribute band,
Mhm.
or Pinky and the Floyd. They're Bozeman based, and they're an amazing Pink Floyd cover band. Bands that I can't just go and see.
Yeah.
But this guy's like, hey, I'm gonna start a Kid Rock cover band, not a tribute band. Like full get up, everything. And that
Yeah.
place was packed, man.
It's crazy.
I saw.
I'm pretty
tons of
sure it was
videos.
actually Kid Rock. He just wanted to sell more.
That's what I'm
tickets.
saying. Yeah, isn't that crazy? But in this world, like they're like, okay, well, we'd rather go see a Kid Rock cover band than, you know, go see Kid Rock, who's still obviously touring.
Yeah. Gosh.
But people
Oh.
were having a good time, man. I was
That's
watching that.
wild,
It's,
man. Who could I cover? What artist could you be like, Josh, let's go out and look like that dude? You know, just lip sync all of his songs.
right.
What do I got?
See, this is tough.
Don't offend me now. I'll leave right
I'm
now.
Not, I'm not going to offend you. I'm just trying to think what band you could possibly cover. Because I've heard you sing.
I always get Pitbull. That's the number one I get.
Why is that? Do you get a reason behind that?
Uno, dos, tres, cuatro. I know I say it real good.
Right.
Just like he does.
I wonder if you could make money being a Pitbull cover band. Do you think people would like book you for events and just play it off as, well, I know you can't see the real Pitbull, but here's
Here's just nonstop Pitbull music for an hour and a half.
for an hour and a half. Yeah, it's not
We
the
have
real
to play the
Pitbull.
same songs back to back because we don't have enough songs to fill an hour and a half. Every 8 songs it repeats.
Does he still make music, Mr. Worldwide?
He probably makes songs, but like you said, he's worldwide, so they're probably
Right.
just different languages. You
Different
just gotta-
languages, right.
You just got to kind of, I think I know what he's saying. You just
Right.
roll with it.
But does that mean music is dying? Like
If Pitbull doesn't make more music, does that mean music is dying?
yeah.
Okay. That was a
What are-
rhetorical question. I was just,
But what are we gonna do? You know?
man, no, I've always thought about this because when we were growing up, you know, and how there was music in just every genre.
Right.
It was like every bit of music had its solid genre. It wasn't like, oh, it's kind of a mix of this and that. It was like, no, that's country.
Right.
No, that's definitely rap. Like it wasn't like you could mix genres.
Right.
For the longest time, I was like, what's going to be the newest genre? And then it finally hit me. They're just going to start mixing the genres.
Don't you remember dubstep?
You mean techno?
I don't even. What do they even call dubstep now? What?
Techno to me. It's
Techno?
literally techno
EDM?
with like more beats. It's like instead of it's
Right.
You know.
But there's a huge following for that. There's got it. I mean, there's all these like paloozas. You know,
Robots like listening to robot music.
that makes sense. So you're saying AI?
They just
is the
made their
future
own
of music.
fans.
But then think about that. What about AI? Do you think AI will get to the point
Ooh.
where they can make music if they
That's-
collect all this data of
100%.
every song that's ever been written, right?
100%.
They can take all of that knowledge and create their own music.
99%. Now I just thought about it a
99%.
little bit harder. So we've already seen the newest, latest trend is letting AI paint pictures.
Right,
And
right,
you just put whatever you want that picture to have, and AI will do it.
right.
It's crazy. Have you seen those photos?
Oh, yeah.
They're insane. They're insane, man. It's stuff that like in what humans aren't even supposed to see. Like my favorite ones are just like the world apocalypse, like the last selfie taken on Earth is like the
Right.
really popular one I keep seeing over and over. And it's so cool to me. It's just thinking like AI is like literally so smart.
Right.
Because it's just algorithm. It's
Right.
just all it does is learn. Humans, we learn from like till we're 18, 17, 14 if you're me,
Right.
and then you just get drunk.
Right. Yeah.
But
AI can't drink.
it just keeps
So it's going
learning,
to keep
man.
getting smarter.
And like, you know, people talk about like AI taking over like robots and stuff. I've seen the footage, like robots, how coordinated they are. We got at least another 5-10 years.
Oh, yeah.
And then we can worry about that.
Right.
As of now, man, like you're saying, AI generated music. I did just hear about that first AI what do you call it when you take on an artist, like signed artist?
Right.
First AI signed artist.
Oh,
It literally
so
looks
this
like-
exists.
Yeah, this is
Okay.
brand new. It just came out. All my news is on Snapchat. It's probably totally unreliable, but
Right.
oh well. It's like Lil Pump, but with green hair. Basically, is the best way.
Oh, I did see that.
yeah, he has like green eyes, green hair. It's like
Yeah.
ooh, you know, it's like,
Right.
yeah.
But why do we need to make a little pump AI?
Because we hate ourselves. I don't know.
That's the only thing I can think of.
I haven't listened to anything yet, so that's totally.
Okay.
I have no room to judge yet, but that's something we should do. We should listen to that and then come back to this
Right.
at another time, because it's interesting, considering that we saw the paintings, and
Right.
those are
Amazing.
fascinating,
Yeah.
mind blowing to us. That's AI, and then if we're thinking, music is totally hard to do. AI can't do that. If I can do paintings like the way it did, you know, whatever style, everything,
Right.
why couldn't it do music? You just put it to a tempo, it'll do it.
Exactly.
That's crazy.
And it can collect all this. I'm just scared for the future of AI music if they're studying artists like Little Pump, because I feel like it doesn't need to take a computer for a mumble rap artist. No disrespect to mumble rap.
Disrespect.
No-
disrespect.
No disrespect.
We get the vibes. We get the vibes.
We get it, but we shouldn't. I don't think it'll take a computer to replicate mumble rap music.
Mm-hmm.
When they could literally study music from the beginning of time, they could take every great song, every popular song ever written, study the vocabulary in it, study the melodies, the beats, and they can make literally the most perfect song ever written by taking a little piece out of every popular song in the history of the universe.
It's crazy.
But instead, they're like, no, we're going to make a little pump.
I haven't listened to it yet.
I haven't
I'm
listened to it
excited.
yet.
I'm excited because then I'm going to just be talking crap the whole time.
Right.
One sec. I got to reach my refreshments.
Oh, okay. Just don't show the can because we're not sponsored by them.
Because I'm not sponsored by
Right.
I don't want to give them a plug.
I am looking for sponsors, so
If you want to be this can, pay us money.
yes, $5,
I'll even go as low as $4.50.
$4.50.
$4.50.
That's pretty low.
I get the $2.50. You get
Oh.
the two.
Okay, so you're getting a bigger cut than my own show. Okay, that makes sense. But okay, so back to music artists and how they're getting more famous differently now. What's that one chick that was a TikTok girl with the facial expressions?
Bella Porch.
Bella Porch. Okay, starts out as just a content creator, moving
Yes.
her face.
You know the term industry plants that people use?
What's the term?
Industry plant?
Mm-mm.
It's where they basically make a person into an artist. Like a company will find a person with the image,
Mm-hmm.
they find the person, and then make them into the star or pop star that they want them to be.
Okay.
That's, I don't like using the term because it's kind of loosely used, so it might not have as much gravity as it, I guess, could.
Right.
But I just feel like, yeah, Bella Poarch was like the perfect person to pick out and make into an artist,
Right.
pop artist, obviously.
Because she already had a following.
Yeah. Oh, crazy.
What-
She's a guaranteed success.
Right.
Yeah.
But doesn't that affect the musicians that are just trying to get famous off good music?
Exactly. That's exactly what it is.
So I don't think it's, I mean, I get it from a capitalism point of view.
Business. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Business point of view, they can make a lot of money, right? But then you got all these great songwriter artists that may not look the best, or they don't have a platform of followers that are creating amazing music, but no one's ever going to fucking hear that
No.
because
Dude,
they're not shaking it on TikTok.
You and me hear so many good artists, and then you look them up, and they got 5,000,
Exactly.
10,000 most, and you're just like, oh, he puts whoever in the dirt. Like
Right.
he is so much better, so much more creative, so much more relatable.
Right.
Everything.
What about that Catch Me Outside girl? She had a rap career.
That was on literally in my brain. Like we're already
What's her
in sync.
name?
Bad Baby.
Bad Baby. That's right.
She a bad baby. So
Literally.
stupid.
But I'm sure she's making a lot of money off her music. Personally, I don't think I've listened to a single song by her. So
Oh, I have.
How is it?
Totally. I'm not gonna lie. I'll be totally honest.
Okay.
There was a song with Lil Yachty,
Mhm.
Gucci Flip Flops.
I've heard that.
I'm
Yeah.
sure someone else made the song for
Right.
her. It was a banger though. I'm not gonna lie. Back years ago when I heard it, I was like, it was like my guilty pleasure.
Yeah.
I just put it on when I'm driving home.
Right.
No one else in the car.
Right.
Make sure no one heard me. Windows up, volume maybe half.
Yeah.
If I'm feeling risky, maybe 60%.
Right.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Now, good for them. It's good that they're getting this music, but yeah, it sucks for the guys, girls out there writing legitimate music, that with a purpose, and
Right in their hearts out.
so it's gonna die. Music is gonna die, bro.
No.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's gonna die, and
I want my whole body. I want to say no.
it's going to, and it's not. It doesn't matter if it's replaced by AI or we go into a completely techno stage or mumble rap just takes over the world to the point that there's no more lyrics in music.
Mhm.
Eventually, the sitting down, writing a song, putting lyrics to it will have to die. Or like we were talking about earlier, when the people just keep recycling other music, they're not going to be writing music. They're going to be taking songs from the 60s and 70s and eventually from, the 90s, 2000s. There's going to be a Pitbull.
Caveman era.
Yeah, there's going to be a Pitbull recycle 30 years from now, because people are naturally lazy.
Remix Macarena.
Yeah,
We're
that's a
on-
banger though.
We're going right downhill, bro.
That's a banger.
That was the start.
That was a start. But I do like that remix.
No, that was
And no, remixes are cool. Like I listen to indie covers of classic songs all the time, but it's still the song,
Exactly.
It's still the
That's what I'm
song. You like to hear it.
So, I guess the way what we're getting at is, let me just shoot my dumb brain the synopsis of what the future is going to be with music. You ready?
Okay.
It's going to be AI artists.
Mhm.
So it's an artist that you like. Okay.
Okay.
AI artists. Totally just make it up.
Right.
Make it up in your brain. Your favorite, just imagine your top 5 artists putting into one. That's the AI artist.
Right.
And every day it drops an album.
Oh.
10 songs. So every day you got brand new creative content at your fingertips. Think about it. It's just like TikTok. TikTok, every day, brand new content.
Right.
Thousands of creators.
Right.
It's like everything's got to be so fast, so new, so quick. Our attention spans are so bad, dude.
Right.
They're dwindling by the year.
Oh yeah, they're going to only
Yeah.
get worse.
Exactly.
I've never heard that though.
I just came up with that
Right.
right out top of the dome.
Right.
I haven't even heard of that yet, but that's
But could you imagine if you put in your top 5 favorite artists into a computer, and they could be random. Like, oh man, I wish there was a band that sounded like the Beatles, Little Pump, Elton John, Crosby, Stills, and Nash, and Lil Wayne.
DMX.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But could you imagine? You know, when you think about this kind of stuff, and you're like, hey, I wish there was more music like this, or I wish there was a band that had all these elements in it. That would be the future of AI.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, and this is a computer, man. I got freaking R2D2 over here pumping out a brand new album every single day
Yeah.
of good music that I want to listen to.
It's all about you.
Right,
That's literally what the internet's about. You
Yeah.
know Bo Burnham.
right,
I could sing that whole song right now.
Yeah.
But I'll let him sing.
right.
You know.
Yeah, let's keep it professional. Yeah.
Let's keep it copyright
Yeah.
free.
But no,
um,
I didn't even think about it that way. I mean, that'd be the future of music, and that doesn't sound so scary.
No, it doesn't. But then it comes down to it's not a human creating it. It's
Right.
not human emotions that made that happen.
Right,
It's there's going to be backlash for sure on it. It's
Yeah.
going to be like, oh, you listen to AI artists, I only listen to real, genuine
Yeah.
people artists. It's going to be, we're just going to keep segregating ourselves and dividing the the masses in that sense. It's
Right.
going to get stupid.
with everything.
Everything.
Everyone wants to be divided on something because it gives them a point to argue. But
Mhm.
I think as long as this AI thing that you just came up with, that hopefully we can copyright and get in when it's
Bro.
early. No,
That's like $1 billion. That's $1 trillion.
bro, I
in
can
that
barely log
future.
into my Facebook like, without technical assistance. Like, I don't think I'm going to be able to code something.
I did a
that-
presentation in junior year of high school that was about Germany. It was pretty cool.
Oh,
I feel like I could handle it.
well, get on it. 'Cause that's a $1 million idea. Because it's literally like TikTok, but for music.
Yeah.
So whatever you want to follow, whatever algorithm that you enjoy, you could just constantly. But then again, imagine the wormhole that you're going to be sucked into with that. If you're getting new music that you love every single day, and if the internet eventually is tailored to just you, which it already is getting there,
Mhm.
you know, but they're already building a blueprint of things you like, and that's why it's important when you say like, I want, excuse the clock in the
is it shot
background.
time?
Yeah, it's shot time.
Shot.
Clock featuring my clock from 1752. But when you think about it, that's what the internet's doing. Personalized ads is already there, and I mean, in a sense, that's good. When I start swiping, I want to see stuff I want to look at, right?
Mhm.
But eventually, it's going to be so tailored to me that I'm only going to see stuff that I want to see, which could be bad.
Mhm.
If you turn it to a more positive way, which I've talked about in my previous podcast, where if you're starting to look at more positive things, like you wake up in the morning and your feed is all these good things, make you feel good, make you happy, perfect. But that also will make you arrogant to the rest of the world. So the bad things that are happening, you're not going to get that perspective. If you only see stuff you like and never stuff you don't like, you're going to condition yourself to be comfortable with that. So if you turn on the news and all of a sudden you see something horrific, like something you don't like,
Mhm.
like there was, a shooting or something,
Yeah.
it's going to traumatize you because you're so used to only seeing comfort things. You're only seeing things you like.
Oh. Ooh. Good
So you-
point.
You're putting yourself in your own little protective bubble, and I
Mhm.
think that won't prepare you for real life.
What if by then, considering how much we already see of all that
Mm-hmm.
and the media we expose ourselves to,
Right.
we're like totally desensitized or
Desensitized.
perfect. Thank
Yeah.
you for speaking. To ourselves, to where that doesn't even bother us anymore. It's like, what if that's the direction we're already
It
heading?
should bother us.
Right?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's
But
my whole.
hey, you see fireworks every day. Is it gonna wow you 10
No.
years from now? No.
Right. But that's a bad thing.
Yeah, that's a bad thing. That's how humans work, bro. We adapt. That's all we do.
But yeah, no, like I absolutely, I get what you're saying, and it makes sense because we don't want to be exposed to traumatic things. We don't want to be exposed to things that aren't pleasant. But if we're not, we're doing ourselves an injustice
Mm-hmm.
because inevitably something bad's going to happen. So if you're only in that comfort zone, and even if you're desensitized, like there should be a point. So see, this is tough because
Mm-hmm.
I stand on the fence on this a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Being desensitized is good for the point that when bad stuff does happen, you don't overreact, right? You know how to
Yes.
handle it. But being desensitized so much that you don't have empathy anymore,
There
that's
you
when
go.
people stop caring about each other.
That's when we become animals, not humans.
Exactly.
Yeah. No.
Do you-
100%.
Do you remember the story of the guy that was working, I believe, at a mine or something, way back in the early 1900s? And I have to check my facts. I'm not sure. I just generally know the story.
You got shot in the head.
He got, well, a rod exploded.
Oh,
Yeah.
in
And
his
the,
head.
yeah. And the
brain,
rod
yeah.
went right into his prefrontal cortex.
Mm-hmm.
And he was always a well-mannered guy, always nice to everyone, normal person. And it went through so fast that it cauterized everything, so he wasn't bleeding out. He didn't need surgery. I mean, granted, this is 100 and some years ago, so they didn't know what to do. They'd be like, "Oh, chop his head off," you know what I mean? Like, give him a shot of whiskey, he'll be good to go.
Mm-hmm.
But it took that frontal cortex or frontal lobe. I'm not a neurologist, but you know what I'm saying. The front
Yeah.
part of your brain. And after that, he became really aggressive. Like
Yeah.
he was sexually assaulting people. He was just randomly fighting. He turned animalistic. And that's kind of what started the study of neurology itself, is trying to figure out what separates us from animals.
Yeah.
And
Crazy.
it's that sympathy, I think. It's caring
100%.
for each other. I hate when I see a video of someone just getting their ass kicked
Mhm.
and there's like 15 people surrounding them taking videos
Yeah.
because they don't
Oh.
care. They're like, oh, this would be great content. Let's not think about this dude getting his brain smashed in.
Yeah. It's crazy out there.
But that's why being desensitized gets bad, because you got World Star and stuff, which granted they're entertaining videos, but you have to also think, dude, that's a human getting his shit rocked right now.
Mhm.
And it'll get millions of views. So when people see that, they're like, oh, they're thinking about themselves, like, I want to be famous. If I take a video of this traumatic event, this horrific event, when there's shootings or beatings or anything crazy, they want to record it for personal fame,
Mhm.
but they're not thinking about, they're acting like they're watching it on their phone in real
Yeah.
life. Because when you scroll and you see something crazy, you're like, oh, damn, that's crazy, but you're not feeling for that person.
Yeah.
And that's transferring over or transitioning over to the human brain. When you see something crazy, it's like watching it in a violent video game, like you just shoot someone point blank in GTA or
Why do
something.
you think the dark web has blown up like so significantly in the last 5-10 years?
Do you think
Everyone
people are
talks-
they chasing thrills?
They want to see something they've never seen before.
Okay,
They because we've seen everything.
right,
We have everything at our fingertips. What's something we don't have at our fingertips? Those extremely graphic, gory things.
right.
And when we see those, it's like something new. I did hear about this briefly when I was like, researching like psychology and why we like the things we like.
hmm
And it's they basically just labeled it as, we like watching those things based on how we want to see a situation that could be dangerous and how to vision it better so we can prevent ourselves from being in that situation.
Which is evolutionary,
Exactly.
right?
That's basically what they played it out as. That's why we kind of are curious and want to see very horrific, gruesome stuff,
Right.
because we kind of want to picture what it would actually look like so we know how to navigate through it. That's what it's chopped up to be.
Okay.
But like my kind of theory is just we want to see something we've never seen before. We
Right.
want to see something new, because everything we see, we need it to be new. We need it to be fresh, sweet, mwah,
Right.
everything we want.
And that because they say that dreams are evolutionary.
Yeah.
We used to dream about things because it would help us, it would better prepare us for that situation. So I get subconsciously we do want to look at horrific stuff because we think it's going to better prepare ourselves. And I agree with that. I think visualization, I can't speak, visualizing something like worst case scenario all the time, that better prepares you for if it happens.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Like being in a situation, like just imagine just throwing it out there, like someone's trying to kick down your door.
Right.
In your dream, you're going, oh my God, what's happening? Someone's trying to kick down my door. And then your brain just taps into adrenaline, even in your dream. And you're like, oh, I know I have a gun by my bedside. I'm going to go to my bedroom,
Right.
lock the door, grab my gun, and just wait, call the cops.
Right.
You're like, you run through that in your dream. You're basically preparing yourself if that were actually happen in real life.
Right.
Because when it's like, God forbid it happens, but if it does happen in real life, you'd be like, holy shit, it's just like my dream.
Right.
Let me do exactly what I did.
Right. But So then, do you think human curiosity is kind of ruining that evolutionary sense to visualize things? Because the more curious they get, the more they're going to want to see worse things. So like I get it, but is it getting to a point now that they're kind of overstepping that line where they're seeking out where it's not, they don't know they're looking at it for those reasons. They very well could be subconsciously being, I need to see this crazy thing happen so I can be better prepared. But in the front part of their brain, they're going, oh man, this is cool. You know, is it getting to a point where people are more excited by this than curious?
That's a good question, man. I would say it will get to that point. I don't know if it is or not, you know. But me personally, if I look at something that's really messed up, it messes me up. You know, it's like I think about it a lot.
Right.
You know, that's why I avoid it. Like I've seen some things, and I'm just like, I don't want to think about that. You know, I don't want to see that, so I just block it out.
But is it a sociopath or a psychopath that feels no sympathy and empathy?
The only way I've been told the difference in how I describe it is about sociopath in the best way. Like if there's the same circumstance, so say if a plane's going down crashing and a sociopath and a psychopath are watching the plane crashing, sociopath sees the plane and laughs. They both laugh. But the psychopath wishes he was the reason the plane crashed.
Oh, okay.
Where
That's
the
interesting.
sociopath doesn't care that the plane's crashing with people, random innocent people dying, but the psychopath wishes he was the one that caused that.
Okay.
That's the difference.
So maybe that would be
More sociopathic.
right.
Yeah. Not psychopathic, where those are the, school shooters and everything like
Right.
that. Yeah.
So the more sociopath, they could watch it and they don't feel for it, where the psychopath wants to be the one that causes the damage. Okay.
Yeah.
It'll be
Well, we
ours.
trailed off on
I
that
know.
one.
Yeah.
This is what we talk about when we're like, man, we just talk for hours on just random things because we just
Right.
keep finding little loopholes into other things.
Yeah. Because we didn't have a structure or
No.
topic
Oh.
on this one.
That's not in the script, Brenton. You didn't
Yeah.
read your line
Oh,
correctly.
yeah.
We're getting a little crazy
Yeah.
now.
But no, it's always good to talk to you, Josh. And I thought this would be a good first interview podcast because we've had 10-hour long conversations since we were 7th graders,
Mm-hmm.
essentially.
Crazy.
Just talk about everything. And it's one of those things, you always hear buddies go, well, I wish I would have recorded that conversation. Or,
Yeah.
we should have a podcast. And that's kind of really my only idea for this podcast is all this interesting stuff that we talk about that maybe someone could get something out of. But obviously I wanted you to come on here and be my first guest because we've shared a lot of words for a long time.
It's crazy, man. To go from just being innocent, dumb kids that had no idea what life was like.
Right.
And we like grounded each other, making sure that we aren't like the only ones that think like we do.
Exactly.
And then we like went off of each other and we kind of, built each other the way we wouldn't be the same people if we didn't meet.
Right.
Like we built each other from these conversations.
Right.
We found out who we are through
Yeah.
this.
And it
Yep.
was it's like a safe space to grow. And I think that's important for everybody. Because like you said, so you don't feel like you're the only one that has these crazy thoughts or anything.
Yeah.
Obviously, if you got some nuts thoughts, like if you're got some psychopathic thoughts, go seek some
See a
help.
doctor.
Yeah, go see a doctor. Don't talk to your friends about it.
This is sponsored by therapy.
Yeah. Go to therapy, man. There's cheap options out there. Talk to someone. But as far as having different ideas, it's good to not feel like you're alone. So hopefully, talking about random stuff that we think about might make some kid be like, hey, I'm not crazy. Or it might be like, oh yeah, man, these guys are nuts. Yeah.
Canceled.
Yeah, canceled. Either way.
Cancel culture sort us out, man.
Right.
That's what it's there for.
Yeah.
I love it. How much more time do you think we got?
I think that should about do it.
Yeah.
I think that wraps up. I appreciate you coming on my show.
Of
And
course, man.
it's always a pleasure, man. I love you.
I love you.
Yeah. All right. Well, I appreciate you
Do
guys.
we make out on camera?
Yeah,
or
no,
after the
that's
camera's
after. I don't know. We haven't cut yet. So I appreciate you guys listening to this next installment of the Chronic Danger podcast.
First of many.
Yes, this will be on YouTube as well as Spotify, the audio version of it. Be sure to like and subscribe. I always forget to say that.
It's gonna get better and better.
Yeah,
I don't
we're
know how
just-
else to say that.
We're working out the kinks. We're just kind of winging it, going,
This is the definition of winging it.
yeah, this is
Oh, yeah.
literally the definition of winging it. Yeah,
Heck
flying without a plan.
I love it, man.
Okay.
Cheers.
Cheers.